Pretty much everyone will admit they want to find someone to love and they want to make money.
Yes, but when they find that person to love, the money angle can get tricky. Is it my money now or our money? Why is my job financing your mother's birthday present? That's just for starters.
Jackie Denker's breaking down the etiquette that governs love and money, and that's our featured story at the top of the list.
The debate of who should pay in a relationship, it can get a bit dicey.
But there are ways to kind of deal with it.
You have to deal with it.
So to learn the ins and outs of love and money etiquette, we turned to relationship expert Susan Winter. Let's start at the beginning with paying during the courtship phase.
Each person has to decide. There are those individuals who take very strong stances in traditional gender roles. For heterosexual relationships, there are those that feel that the man should pay, and there are those that feel that the woman should be the recipient of this, and that that's part of the courtship model.
Very chivalrous.
But then again,
There are very modern couples of both genders that decide we are in this together, we're going to split. It just depends on what you're comfortable with.
so she recommends having that conversation up front to avoid any confusion, or just see what happens.
Oftentimes one partner will jump for the check and they're saying, let me do this. And it's normally the person who's asked the other out on the date.
Interesting.
Next, let's talk what happens when you've made the relationship official.
Now it gets a little more complicated.
You have to have the preliminary discussions of who pays for what.
Especially if you've made the jump to move in together.
You cannot assume that the one who has more money will pay. And you can't assume traditional gender roles.
One thing she recommends is to write up a relationship contract.
So you just sit down, you write up a contract.
Yeah.
This doesn't have to be a lawyer thing,
No,
or is
no,
it
no,
just
no.
something between you and the partner?
You can write in anything like money or chore responsibilities.
When you put it on paper, you can go back and refer to it. So it's not like a conversation where, but I understood you to say, but I thought that meant.
Put it in writing.
Put it in writing, and you both agree to it, and you both sign it.
And while it may sound a little uncomfortable,
What we're trying to do is eliminate resentment and future fights.
You gotta pull it off like a Band-Aid and just have that combo.
finally, when people take the leap to marriage, it's time to talk debt.
Dreaded debt.
If you're coming into a marriage, you have to talk about who's carrying what amount of debt, because that is now a part of the marital situation.
That's a lot of baggage.
It is, and it's a discussion that's uncomfortable, but couples have to have it when they're at that juncture.
Ask your partner,
What debt are you carrying? How have you been paying it off?
and then together figure out how you're going to tackle it, whether that's in a contract or marriage counseling, because
We gotta keep our wallets and our hearts happy.
Yes, we do. That's a good point.
tackling love and money is at the top of the list.